Hey everybody, today's project overview is of this really cool airship. And if you play D&D or other tabletop games, you're going to really love this one. Today I'm going to take it apart and show you how it goes back together and give you a few tips on how to assemble it and a couple different ways you can customize it. Alright, first let's go over all the pieces. So I've got them all set out here. Here's the two sides of the keel, right here and right here. And then we've got the mast right here, both sides of that. And then the different ribs that hold up the deck here, and then the base. And then there's this little rectangle here that the mast goes into on the deck. So let me show you how this goes together. It's pretty straightforward. So these two pieces will glue together, just like you'd imagine. I'm going to do this without glue, of course, for this demonstration, but you would glue those together. Keep those nice and straight. And then you can take this and put it in the base, just like this. And we'll see how good I am on camera here without any glue. Hope I don't drop anything. So you've got that sitting in the base there. And then the next pieces that you're going to probably use are the ribs here. Now, these have very, very small dots that are engraved on them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'll try to hold one up to the camera, see if you can see this. But right there's dots. And that indicates the place that they go on the keel. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So make sure you pay attention to that. That'll make your life a whole lot easier. So I'll go ahead and put these on here. And you want to give it a nice firm push on there to make sure that they get seated correctly. Because when they do, it'll all fit together well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now I'll take a moment just to mention this real quick. Of course, like any design, you will need to check the width of your material and adjust any of these slots if your material is significantly different. And there's going to be a sample slot in this design, just like there is in every design I do. So make sure you check that first and then make adjustments if you need before you go too much further. So I've got those in there. Going to try to make sure that they're kind of straight up and down. Let me see if I can turn this sideways for the camera. But you see that that's how I have them in there. And then I'm going to put the next part together and then set it on the keel there. So what we're going to do next is take these two pieces, put them back to back, just like this. You would glue those together, and then take this rectangle and put it right over those so that it's sticking out a little bit like that, because that part is going to go into the deck. And then we'll put this into the deck like that. You'll glue it on there. And then when it dries, you are ready to put this onto the keel and onto the ribs here. Now this might be a little bit challenging for me to hold up to the camera, but let's see what I can do to help you out here. I'm going to set it down in here. And of course, if you do what I did and you had things loose there, that rib just decided to turn on me. Once again, the angle that I'm shooting here on the camera makes this a little challenging for me to be able to see things. But when you set it in there, one of the easier ways for me to get this right is to set it in there and just kind of rotate some of these ribs a little bit until the deck sits down. There we go, just like that. And then, if you have it right, let me see if I can do this without dumping it out to show you. I think I can. You will see that it sits in this notch right here, and then there's a notch back here it sits in as well. And so then you can glue this all together just like this, and your airship will look amazing. So let me give you a couple little other tips here, and maybe some ideas. So make sure that when you are cutting this on your Glowforge or whatever laser you're using, make sure you pay attention to each particular layer or part on the design when you're doing it, because there are parts that need to be scored, like the deck here, and like all of the different details. Let's see if I can turn this for you again. Like the details on the lantern up here, and the mast and the tail there, And under here on the keel, you want to make sure that you score those and you do not cut those, because of course if you cut them, it's going to be a mess. So make sure that you pay attention to which parts you're doing on there as you're cutting and scoring. Another thing that I'm looking forward to doing after this one is I'm going to work on maybe a second version of this where I can make like this part back here, maybe some red acrylic, and then some other parts, maybe dark walnut, to give it some really amazing contrast. That's going to take some editing of the file because it's not made for that right now, but that could be a cool way to do it. Also, of course, I know a bunch of you are going to paint this, and I would absolutely love to see what you do with the painting. You could paint it sky blue down here with some clouds, or maybe you could do it water. A lot of different things you could do to make this really cool and personal. But I hope you enjoy it. Let me know if you have any questions, but it's pretty easy to put together. Just make sure you watch this video, of course, obviously, and then you also read the instructions. I'd love to see what you guys make with it. Let me know if you have any questions, but until then, as always, I'll see you in the next one.